Hey everyone. Hello, hello. We are starting my first Homestead Roundup live. So if y'all can hear me, if you give me a thumbs up in the chat or say hello, let me know where you're from. I'm excited to be doing my first live on my channel. Hello, Blessed with Pets. Welcome. I'm glad you are here. I'm going to wait a few more minutes and see if we get anybody else to hop on here. I don't have any set plan for this evening. I'm just kind of winging it, so hopefully it ends up well. Let's see. Is the video coming through? Sound coming through? All good? Awesome. I'm glad audio is working well. Video is working well. Good. How is everybody tonight? Everybody doing well? So I think for this video or this live, I don't know. What do you guys think we should talk about tonight? Because I don't have a set plan. Ooh, I love Orlando. Orlando's beautiful, especially this time of year. Are you going to the theme parks or are you just hanging out in Orlando? Oh, Disney. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful trip. I think we all could use a Disney vacation. So I don't know how this live is going to go. I don't know how many people are going to show up or how it's playing out. Like I said, this is my first one, so I'm just kind of winging it. I know I've got a lot of stuff going on in my garden right now, as do a lot of other people. So we can probably talk about some gardening stuff. We can talk about the bunnies and the quail and all of that jazz. The bunnies are doing great. I actually have 2 bunnies that are due. When are they due? On the 6th. They are due on the 6th. So lots of babies around here. Mm. Hmm. Oh, awesome. As of right now, I do not keep the pelts unless somebody asks for them specifically. I had a friend of mine, she wanted the pelts because she's getting into taxidermy. But that was the only instance in which I saved the pelts. I do eventually want to learn how to preserve them and maybe sell them to the people who want them. But as of right now, I'm not using the pelts for anything. I think some people dehydrate them and use them for dog treats, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. So is there anything that you guys want to know about me? Tips. What tips would I give for someone wanting to eat rabbits but struggling with the actual thought of dispatch? So when I got started eating rabbits, I actually found somebody else to do the dispatching for me, and that made a huge difference for me personally. Until I was ready to learn how to do the dispatching myself. A lot of people, if you find somebody locally, they usually have decent prices um, for the dispatching process. That would be my biggest recommendation is just finding somebody else to do the dispatching for you, or find a mentor that's willing to do it alongside of you and help you with any questions that you have or fears that you might be having. Having a mentor was a huge help for me. I found a local guy who taught me how to do it with a pellet gun. So I actually shoot my rabbits instead of using the spinal dislocation. I wasn't super comfortable doing that. I had a really bad experience with the spinal dislocation when um, when I killed my first chicken. She had had her crop torn out by something. I don't know if something got a hold of her, or if she got her head stuck somewhere and just ripped it open. But she was basically just running around, with food falling out of her crop and all of that. And at the time, I had no experience dispatching anything, and the only thing I had on hand was a broomstick. So we used the broomstick method, and the first time that I did it, it was an absolute flop. It failed. She got up and ran around the chicken run for like 10 minutes before I could catch her and do it again. So I was not a fan of trying that with my rabbits, who are larger and need a bit more force to actually get that dislocation in the spine. So when my mentor pulled out a pellet gun, I was like, hallelujah, that's going to work perfect for me. So definitely find somebody who can either do the dispatching for you or find a mentor who can be alongside you and teach you how to do it. CM, the cut flowers are coming along wonderfully. My sunflowers, I think, are about 3 feet tall now. And the other ones range between a couple inches to like 2 feet tall. So they're coming along really nice. So I'm hoping in the coming months, now that I have some experience dispatching and butchering various things on my homestead, that I can start recording and offering um, those videos on how to do it. Um, just because I know it's something that's needed, a skill that's needed. Oh, I gotcha. I gotcha. Um, yeah, so my husband won't eat any that he knows were pets or breeders that we treated like pets. In which case I just sell them. Um, or if I'm retiring them, I just bury them and just let them rest in peace. It's just my personal preference. Um, you can see in your local area if there is a market for rabbit meat and see if you can sell them to your local community. I started doing that just so that I could start getting more litters in and start improving my lines and trying out different genetics and things like that, because I can't eat them all. That's a lot of rabbits, especially when my litters are anywhere from 5 to 10 each litter. Um, so I just started offering any extras up for sale to my local community. So if you guys are just jumping on, go ahead and say hello in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you can hear and see me just fine. Let me know where you're coming from, how you're doing today. I'm happy to have you guys here. Hi, Casey. Much appreciated. Glad you're here. So is there anything that you guys would like to see me do more of on the channel? I know I'm kind of like a little bit of everywhere because I kind of just whatever needs done for the day is kind of what I record and kind of what I put up on the channel. So I don't really have like a schedule where I have certain videos that I want to do on a certain day and so on and so forth. I just kind of wing it. So if there's anything that you guys want to see more of, I would love to know. And that way I can kind of cater my content a little bit more to what you guys would like to see, and start getting some more of that out there. But for now, it's just kind of a little bit of what's going on in my everyday life. I do have some DIY videos coming up. I've been working on a farm stand cart for the end of my driveway so I can sell some excess produce and eggs and things like that at the end of the driveway. And then I'm wanting to build some grow out cages for my rabbits. I'm getting quite a few litters in, so having that extra space to allow my rabbits to grow out and get to size for butchering and selling and evaluating and all that will be really helpful. So that's something that I'm working on. And then hoping to do more quail content as I increase my flock. We just had 23 quail hatch out this week, and I just put another 43 eggs in the incubator today. So we're going to have lots of quail babies coming up in the near future. So hopefully I can do some more quail content for you. I recently learned how to butcher quail, so I'm hoping that I can get a video of that in the coming months as well. I'm teaching you guys how to butcher quail. Hi, Henry. Welcome to the chat. Glad you're here. I do have a dog, but she is in bed right now. Let's see. I'm glad you guys like the everyday life videos. That's just kind of how it rolls out. Alrighty, so it looks like we got a handful of people jumping on. If you are new and just coming in, welcome, welcome. Say hello in the comments below. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you can hear me, see me okay, and where you're from, how you're doing. I'd love to hear from you guys. And of course, if you have any questions for me, go ahead and leave them in the comments as well. We're kind of just answering questions as they come. Hey, Richard, welcome. I hear Idaho's beautiful. Hopefully we get a couple more people in tonight. I'm going to try to do the lives probably for about an hour each time. The smoke hasn't been too bad today. For the most part, it's been cleared out. So it was nice. Yesterday, my throat and nose were kind of burning. So we just kind of stayed in the house. Oh, nice, Richard. Our summer's kind of cool so far. We had a really hot spring, and then like spring decided to come summertime, and we're down in the low 70s again. Oh no, that sounds horrible. That does not sound like a peaceful way to go. In the 40s. That's usually what our spring is, in the 40s and 50s. And then come summertime, the highs are usually 80s, 90s, but for the most part, they stay around the 70s. But our spring was up in the 80s and 90s, and now our summer is back down in the 70s. So we're having a weird season this year. Oh, I believe it. Louisiana, I feel like that would be hot and humid, very hot and humid. Righty, so if you guys are just jumping in, hello, welcome. I'm glad you guys are here. Say hello in the comments for me. Let me know that you're here and leave any questions for me that you have. We're kind of just talking about life right now and answering some questions and just seeing how everybody's doing. I don't really have a game plan for today. I'm just kind of winging it. So whatever questions lead to conversation, that's kind of how it's rolling out today. Hopefully the following lives that I have will be a little bit more planned out. I love the greenhouse build too. I'm glad I was able to share it with you guys. That was a lot of fun to do. And I've got a couple videos coming up for the greenhouse. Actually, I'm doing some like last minute touches in there to get things wrapped up and give me some space to work. But I'm loving having the greenhouse here. It's added a lot of functionality to the greenhouse and my season and all of that. So it was a really good project. So I'm hoping to do some more like educational type videos. Just teaching, how to maintain your garden. I've put out a couple videos this week on how to prune your tomatoes and trellis your sweet peas, along with, I think I did cucumbers. And then I've got some greenhouse videos. Hey, Just Steph 79, welcome, welcome. Everything is going well for me. How about you? So yeah, definitely want to do some more educational stuff, teaching you more about maintaining the things in your homestead versus just setting things up. I know the last couple years I've been doing a lot of DIYs and getting my systems in place and um, so forth. So all of my like big projects are pretty much done, with the exception of the few that I have to wrap up and the few little things that I want to add here. Um, so it's kind of going to switch from DIY to more educational on how to manage your homestead and keep things going. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys got some rain. That's awesome. We had rain this past week too, and it was wonderful. My garden is super happy. So for the rabbits, one. I have 5 breeding does and way too many bucks. I think I have one, two, three, four, five. No, I have 5 does and 5 bucks, which is still way too many bucks. And then kits, I have, let me see, 5. I think I have 22 kits right now, and then 2 pregnant mamas. So I'm working through quite a bit. I can certainly do that. I'm looking for some local people who wouldn't mind being on the channel and showing, how you do your backyard homesteading. That would be pretty cool. I'm glad you love the videos. That's awesome. That's why I keep doing them, hoping to encourage people to, pursue this homesteading thing in your backyard. You don't need a ton of space to grow food or raise animals for your family. So hopefully my content is encouraging in that way. Yeah, I have a lot of rabbits. I have a lot of everything right now. It's kind of crazy. I think I have like 30 chickens, um, probably 30 some quail as well, 30 plus rabbits. 30 seems to be the number around here, but yeah, I just have a lot. I only have 5 turkeys though. I don't have 30 of them, so that's good. Pigeons would be cool. I'm not sure what you would use a pigeon for though. Just entertainment, maybe. I know people train them to be like homing pigeons. You can send secret messages to your friends. I think my son asked me at one point for a white pigeon, and I just don't. I don't want birds in the house, so no pigeons for me. So since we're talking about animals right now, do you guys have any questions regarding livestock, chickens, ducks, turkeys, quail, any of that? I've been raising chickens for probably 6 years now. Ducks have kind of been on and off for a couple years. Quail are new. Quail are new for this year for me, so that's a learning experience for me, although they're pretty easy to raise and manage. Turkeys are pretty easy as well. They're just big and they eat a ton. So I am keeping quail to lay. I do want eggs and meat. So right now, I'm just working on building up my numbers. So I have nine females and 6 males that I held back. I did butcher 9 males because my last batch that I hatched before this one that hatched this week, I want to say it was 20 males to 3 females. It was a horrible, horrible ratio. So I basically picked out my prettiest males and kept them 2 per cage. And then the 3 females went in with my older females. So there's 9 females to two roosters. The ratio is 1 male to like 5 to 6 hens is the ratio for quail. So right now I'm just hatching out a whole bunch of them to hopefully up my hen numbers. And that way I can produce more eggs as well as meat. So definitely keeping some to lay. And that way I can keep hatching them out whenever I need to get more of them. It makes a lot more sense to have your animals reproduce on their own versus having to buy from somebody else. So I always try to have males and females of both so that we can have that reproduction closed circle here on our homestead. Oh no. I've had that happen a couple times. It's usually when my chickens go broody and they swap nests or something. I think one had been incubated for a week or 2 and there was some clear development and I ended up cracking it in my breakfast. I wasn't too thrilled about that one. Gotcha. 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 So, is there anything that you guys are working towards on your homesteads that you would like advice on or just want to share about? Showing rabbits is a lot of fun. I've only done it a handful of times. It's difficult for me right now to get to various shows. Most of them require me to travel and or have a hotel room, and with my kids and whatnot, that's really difficult. Um, but all you got to do is find your local shows. I do believe you can do that on the website easytoshow.com or the ARBA website. Trying to think of what else. Getting into some of your local Facebook groups for rabbit showing would be a really great way to get hooked up with your local people and your shows that are happening within your area. Um, and then just kind of get hooked up with those people. That's what I did when I started showing. I just joined a couple rabbit groups for the breed of rabbits that I have, and then just asked a whole bunch of questions like, how do I sign up? How do I get going? Where are the local shows? The very first show I did was actually 4 hours away from me, so that was a bit of a hike, but it was worth it because I got a lot of really great hands-on experience with my breed, and now have a better understanding of what to look for when I'm breeding, what to look for when I want to hold back kits, that kind of thing. Um, So yeah, I would just recommend getting into some of your Facebook groups that are local for the breeds that you have. This is my first year with flowers too. I've done like the flowers mixed in with my veggie garden in years past. But this is the first time where I'm actually doing cut flowers, and I would adore to have a medicinal garden as well. I'm working on, um, I have like a tower bed in my garden. Hi, Flake. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I believe it. Florida's probably really hot right now. But yeah, I've been trying to get this tower situated where I can get some herbs planted in there because I would really like to have um, what do I want to grow? Sage, oregano, rosemary, parsley, dill, things like that, stuff that I use on a regular basis, and would just really like to have that to have fresh herbs and know when they were dehydrated. Oh, that would be cool. I've never done tinctures before. I want to do more like salves and um, like hand lotions and lip balms and things like that, and just have the dried herbs for either capsules or things like that. But I'm still very much new to the whole herbal medicines thing, and I know there's a ton. So, hello, a mental state of mind. Welcome, welcome. All is doing very well. Thank you. I hope things are well with you. At what age did I get into rabbits? 2 years ago. um, so I originally got the rabbits to get my kids enrolled in 4-H, and then it ended up being my project. So yeah, about 2 years ago is when I got into rabbits. I did have them for a couple years growing up as a kid. My mom bred, I believe they're called Netherland dwarf rabbits, the real little ones. They're like this big. Um, and then we had a couple pets and whatnot as well. But outside of that, this is really my first experience raising them, butchering them, breeding them, all of that jazz. So, yeah, 2 years I've been doing rabbits. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a learning experience. I've learned a lot about rabbits, and like I said, how to show, how to tattoo them, um, how to breed them, how to raise up the babies, all of that. I've learned so much. I never thought in a million years that I would be raising rabbits for meat. That's a whole different ball game than I ever anticipated. But I didn't really grow up with this homesteading lifestyle, so I'm learning everything as I go. But I like to read a lot of books and watch a lot of other homesteaders and learn from other people. And I find that learning from other people is a really neat way to add to your knowledge base, because everybody has different experiences. So if watch a bunch of different people, you can find somebody who's had similar experiences and apply them to your own situation, versus just kind of narrowing in on one or two people. Welcome, Mary's Life. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. It was good to chat for a little while. Have a good night. So we've just been talking about a little bit of everything. Been trying to answer people's questions and kind of just rolling with the conversation that comes out of the question. So if you guys have any questions for me, go ahead and answer them. I'm more than happy to answer. I love helping however I can. Just encourage you guys to do this whole backyard homesteading thing and growing your own food, raising your own animals, all of that jazz. I know, like I said before, this was not a lifestyle that I grew up with. I've been learning as I go. And so I just like sharing what I'm learning. This is my first live. I did a live interview with Little Ridge Farm, Little Ridge Homestead. I think it's Little Ridge Farm. Back in, I think it was April, but this is the first live on my channel. That is a lot of rabbits, though. I'm not far behind you. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I got close to 30 right now. Between breeders and babies, they're everywhere. Homesteading is not easy. There's so much involved with homesteading, but if you set it up right, then your homestead works for you instead of you working for your homestead. I think living off the grid would be a lot of fun, because I enjoy camping. I love that whole no utilities challenge of living. I feel like it's a very peaceful way to live. There's no distractions, no stress of bills to pay or any of that. So I think living off the grid would be a really neat way to live your life. Thank you, Flake. So we will be doing a live just once a month for right now, as I kind of get used to everything and come up with topics to talk about. Like I said, I'm kind of winging it today. I didn't really have a set topic to talk about, but I'm going to be doing live videos the last Friday of every month at 7 p.m. So you can look forward to seeing them at the end of every month. Thank you, Mary. I just kind of learn from others and learn by example and just kind of follow what the experts are doing. That's the best piece of advice I could give you is just, watch other people, learn what they're doing, learn from their mistakes so you don't make those same mistakes also. And then don't be afraid to make mistakes either. So make those mistakes and then learn from them and try again. There's no such thing as failure unless you completely give up altogether. So just keep trucking along, keep learning, and you'll get there. All right, Flake, it was great to have you here. Thanks for joining us. Absolutely, Mary. I'm happy to share my experiences. I'm hoping that I can do some more educational type stuff in the coming months. I know the last couple years I've been doing a lot of DIY kind of builds and getting my homestead really set up and situated. And now that a lot of my bigger systems are in place, I can start focusing on the smaller things like how to keep up with your garden, how to prune things, how to fertilize, how to, raise your animals, so on and so forth. So I've heard that goats are really good at escaping. I do not have goats. I would love to have some at some point. I've been eyeballing the Nigerian dwarf goats for years, and I would just adore having some. But yeah, everybody says that they're a little escape artists and love to get into absolutely everything. So chickens are good at pooping everywhere, that's for sure. What breed of goats do you have blessed with pets? Mm. 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 Does anybody have any other questions for me today? I know this chat's kind of sparse. That hopefully the following, as I do lives, hopefully things get a little bit more interesting, I guess you could say. Um, oh, you do have the Nigerian dwarfs. I was just going to ask that, Mary. Do you get milk from your goats? That's what I want them for. I want them for the dairy. I've got everything else growing here on our homestead between veggies and animals, meat and whatnot. I don't have any dairy though, so I would love to have goats for the dairy. Oh, okay. Yeah, if they're too young to do anything with, and you just get to enjoy their shenanigans for a while. Yeah, if you guys are here, if you're new jumping in, probably going to be here for another 20 minutes or so. I'm trying to do the lives for about an hour, hour and a half. Just depends on how active the chat is and questions coming in and how good the conversation's going. So if you're here, give me a hello, give me a wave in the comments below, give a thumbs up on the video. This is a first live video for me, and I'm kind of just winging it. So I'm kind of rolling off of the questions coming in. Hi, Widden. Thank you for being here. And don't worry about it. It's my first live video. So like I said, I'm kind of just winging it here, kind of rolling off of, the people that jump in and questions being asked. I am going to be doing them once a month for right now. It'll be the last Friday of every month at 7 p.m. for about an hour, hour and a half. So hopefully this allows you guys to get to know me a little bit better, allows me to get to know you guys a little bit better, answer some questions almost face to face. Hello, Rock Bell Ranch. Welcome. Glad you're here. Go ahead and hit those thumbs up for me, guys. Let me know that you're here. Throw any questions that you guys have for me in the comments. We're just kind of rolling off of each other here. All right, Blessed with Pets. It was great having you here. Thank you for all your questions and enjoy your Disney trip. I hope it goes wonderful for you. Yeah, the next video will definitely have a little bit more advertising. I know this one was kind of last minute. I think I made mention that I was going to do it a week ago, so there wasn't a whole lot of advertising going on for this one. But next one there will be for sure. I'm kind of just trying to figure things out one thing at a time. There's a lot going on here between my kids and the homestead and all of that jazz. So next one will definitely have a little bit more advertising going on. It depends what I'm selling them for. If they are a show quality rabbit with pedigree, I sell them for $80 a piece. If they are a meat quality rabbit, so let's say they have a couple disqualifications on them, white toenails, stray white hairs, things like that, and there's still their body conformation is still good for a meat rabbit, I will sell them at $40 for backyard meat production as just a breeder. It will not come with a pedigree because it's not show quality. And then if the rabbit is processed, meaning it's butchered by me and frozen, I was recently selling them for $5 a pound, but I did some math and that's not even breaking even. So I need to up my price for $7 a pound. Thank you, Widden. I appreciate that. Watch time is super, super important. So some things to look forward to, hopefully in the coming months. I've got some build projects that I'm working on. I mentioned earlier that I'm working on some things in the greenhouse to get things buttoned up in there and open up space to work on some new things that I want to try. I'm also working on figuring out how to build some grow out pens for my rabbits, just to have a little bit more space to work with. I want to let them grow a little bit bigger and allow them to gain a bit more weight before processing or doing evaluations. The bigger you let your rabbit get, the more, or should I say, the better idea you have as far as their show quality goes. So having that extra space will help out a ton. And then there's a couple other miscellaneous projects that I have going. And then flowers, you can look forward to maybe making some flower bouquets for the farm stand, which is also a build that I'm working on. And then I'm hoping this year I can do a lot of canning videos for you guys as well, just kind of walking you through what I do here on our homestead as far as canning goes. Yeah, that was the hardest thing to reach, was the 4,000 watch hours. After that, I'm still kind of struggling with the watch hours needed to actually get paid by YouTube. An $800 Quaker parrot? What is a Quaker parrot? I'll have to look that up. Oh, thank you, Mary. I'm glad you love my videos. I hope that they're encouraging and educating and just easy for people to watch. My biggest goal is just encouraging you guys to homestead in your backyards and do what you can with what you have instead of being discouraged by all of these larger farms and homesteads that have acres and acres to work with. I know that's just not feasible for a lot of people. And so I hope that my homestead shows that you can do things on a small scale and actually grow and raise quite a bit. Rabbits are pretty hands off, except for feeding them and cleaning all of the rabbit pellets. They poop a lot, um, but they're pretty straightforward. They're easy to breed. They're easy to raise. They're easy to keep. Feeding them isn't too difficult. Just hay and grain. Little fluff ball of a bird. Aren't they all little fluff balls? You should see these quail. They are tiny. Thanks for stopping in, Mary. I hope you have a great day. Enjoy your dinner. I do. Most of it actually just ends up in my compost and gets mixed up with all of my other composting materials, bedding, weeds, things like that. But I think it's once or twice a year, I will just use straight pellets for fertilizer. And that's something that I'm going to be selling at the farm stand that I'm working on as well to my local community. Oh, I love the little parrots that talk. They're so cute. I haven't had much luck though with like pet birds. I do really well with the agricultural birds, but pet birds haven't lasted very long in my home. But I haven't had one since I was a kid, so maybe my luck has changed. So, what should I talk about on my next live? I need some ideas, guys. That way, I have some conversation pointers to kind of roll through. I feel like my conversation today has been pretty sparse, so I feel like I should probably plan just a little bit better for the next video. I actually only started canning about 2 years ago. Um, and I don't do a ton of canning. Like, I don't can quite enough to cover a full year, but I can what I can. This year, I want to do a lot more canning and really stock my shelves with the things that we use. I want to do a lot more spaghetti sauce this year, a lot more diced tomatoes. Um, I also want to do a lot of fruit. I want to do peaches, pears, applesauce, things like that. And a lot of that stuff I'm going to have to end up buying in bulk, either from an auction house or a local farmer or something like that, in order to have enough of the produce to can. A lot of my fruit trees and whatnot are not producing fruit yet, so that'll have to come from an outside source for now. But I do want to can a lot more, so I'm hoping to get some of that recorded and out at the end of growing season. Seeing cover starting a small garden. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea because I'm actually planning a in-person. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, my kid came in. Um, I'm actually doing some in-person, like beginner gardening classes for my local area. That was my youngest. They're playing video games to keep themselves entertained, and he wanted to know if he could switch video games. So yeah, that was my youngest. But I will keep that in mind for next time. Shoestring budget for garden or farm. I think that's a great idea. I need to write that down. I know my kids tend to pop up in a lot of the videos from time to time. My oldest for sure, he loves being in them. I am doing a Q&A. We've had just a few people stop in, so I'm kind of just rolling off the backs of questions that people have asked. Kind of just winging it today, so the conversation's been kind of sparse, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. I love answering your questions. If you guys are new here, make sure to give a shout out in the comments. Hit that thumbs up. It gets my video out there a little bit better. All right, have a great trip. Blessed with pets. It was great chatting with you for a little while. My oldest just turned 11 this year. Hi, Lily Ryan. Welcome, welcome. So for any of you new people stopping in, do you guys have any questions for me regarding, I don't know, gardening, animals? So I raise chickens, turkeys, quail. I've raised ducks in the past. I also have rabbits. And how long have I done YouTube? I want to say 2 years, going on 3 next March. You're welcome, Lily. So about 2.5, 3 years I've been doing YouTube. It's been an interesting journey, that's for sure. It was kind of a spur of the moment. Hey, I'm already doing all this work. I might as well record it and throw it on YouTube and see if it does anything. And it's done far better than I ever anticipated it doing. So my favorite color is aquamarine. How about yours? Yeah, all of my kids love it. They're very helpful around here. They like to help me with the projects and building and all of the animals, of course. My son loves all of them. And they recently helped me. A friend of mine had some meat chickens that she wanted some help with butchering. So they ended up helping me butcher some chickens as well. So they're learning all sorts of wonderful things being on this homestead. So let's see. Yep. Hard skills for sure. Hello, Roger Rob. Welcome. Glad to have you here. If you guys are new, jumping into the video, make sure you leave a comment. Let me know you're here. Let me know how you're doing. And make sure you hit that thumbs up button as well. That helps get my live out there to more people. So that's super helpful. We've kind of just been answering questions that come in and just kind of going off the chat as far as this conversation goes. I'm hoping next time I have a bit more of a theme planned out as far as what we're going to be discussing, so you guys have an idea of what questions to bring. But this kind of was a last minute plan. I originally wasn't sure when I was going to be doing live videos, if ever. So this is definitely a new thing for me. My dream job growing up changed quite a bit. I actually wanted to be a marine biologist for quite a while. And then I went to college for graphic design. So they were worlds apart. And then I ended up homesteading instead of doing graphic design or marine biology. So Give yourselves room to grow and change your mind. Hey, Bill Statler, welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching my videos as well. I love getting them out to you guys and sharing what I'm doing. So this week I'll have a couple videos for my greenhouse. I'm wrapping some things up in there. And I started some work on my farm stand cart. So instead of doing a stationary farm stand at the end of my driveway, I'm building it on a garden cart, so it's movable. So that's coming up this week as well as a couple other miscellaneous videos that I've been working on. Homesteading is a full-time job, but it is so worth it. Outside of having my children and being a mom, this has definitely been one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done. I love providing my family with good, wholesome food that I know had a really spoiled, awesome life here with me and only had one bad day. I enjoy my garden. It's very peaceful out there. Now all I want to do is grow stuff and have fresh eggs every day. That's awesome. I feel that 100%. I love growing stuff and having fresh eggs every day. It's the best. It is the most important job in the world. It's the number one thing that I focus on every day outside of my relationship with the Lord. So I wouldn't have that any other way. Everything I do here is for my kids, my husband, for my family. I wish I could say the same there, Wyndon. But I had to buy eggs over the winter because all of my chickens decided to be freeloaders and stop laying. So I did have to buy them over the winter time, but I've got a bunch of new girls and they should be laying, I think, end of September, early October. So I should have eggs all winter long this year, which will be fantastic. But I love my fresh farm eggs. They taste so much better than the store-bought ones. And I know they're fresh. I know they're only a couple days old versus what's the average life of an egg? I think it's anywhere from 50 to 60 days old in the grocery store. It's crazy. Amen. Absolutely. I actually had the privilege of baptizing my two older children last summer, so that was pretty cool. They taste loads better. I love my fresh eggs. I really like the quail eggs as well. They taste just like chicken eggs. They've just got a slightly different texture when you cook them because they're more yolky versus they don't have as much white as the chicken eggs do. So there's a slight difference in texture, but they taste identical to chicken eggs. Not a huge fan of duck eggs, though, or turkey. Although turkey tastes real similar to the chicken as well, but I just don't like the way it cooks up. It's weird. Personal preference. I do love my homegrown veggies. I hated tomatoes before I started gardening, and now I eat them on just about everything. I don't like them by themselves still, but I'll eat them on a burger or in my salad or on my tacos, things like that. So they definitely have the flavor composition of a fresh grown tomato is so much better than the ones bought in store. Same with just about everything else. Everything's sweeter, more crisp, and just full of flavor. So much of what you get at the grocery store just doesn't have a lot of flavor to it at all. I never would have known that if I hadn't started gardening. Well, I don't know if I'm Italian, but I love all things pasta. So having a really good tomato sauce is amazing. I started making my own 2 years ago, and nobody in my house likes the store-bought stuff anymore. They all complain when I have to buy it when I run out. So that's one of the number one things that I make in my home is spaghetti sauce. I'm hoping to can a whole bunch more this year than I did last year. Like I said, the turkey eggs aren't bad. They're similar to the chicken eggs, but I just personally wasn't a fan. Bleed balsamic vinegar. That's funny. I want to try making my own Italian dressing. I haven't done that yet, but I love Italian dressing, so I want to try making my own. So with any luck, I can get some more kitchen type videos up on here. Like I said, more canning videos, more dehydrating, preserving type videos, and even maybe some recipes that I've come to love and enjoy, and share them with you guys. I think I shared a bread recipe and my homemade vanilla as well on here so far. Anyway, I was going to work through an Amish cookbook this past winter with you guys, and that did not happen. So maybe this winter I can start working on that through you guys. Oh, perfect. I'll have to give that a try. Thank you. Yeah, I love Italian. Ranch is another good one. I do not like sweet things on my salad. It needs to be sour. I'm sorry, but personal preference. I am not a sweet salad person. My lettuce is going crazy in my garden, so I've been having a lot of salad lately, and it's been really good. I like to grow. What have I grown in the past? In the past, I used to grow like the lettuce mix, like packet of seeds, and I wasn't a huge fan. The lettuce was really bitter, and it just didn't really go well with anything. So this year, I actually picked a couple of varieties that I know I like. I did red romaine, Paris Island romaine, which is a green romaine, and then butter crunch. And they have made the most delicious salad ever. I'm excited to add, I'm growing some red cabbage. I'm excited to add that to it, and sugar snap peas and cucumbers and all of that stuff as well. I love a good salad. A kitchen sink abomination. Oh goodness, my favorite veggie to grow. I really love sugar snap peas. It's like candy in the garden. They oftentimes just don't make it to the kitchen. I just eat them out in the garden, and the kids love them as well. Trying to think what else. Tomatoes, because I can make spaghetti sauce and pizza sauce and salsa and diced tomatoes. Like I said, I love all things saucy and pasta, so we do a lot of tomatoes around here. Butter crunch is delicious. I tried it once from the store, and I was like, yep, this is my favorite lettuce outside of romaine. So I figured I would just grow those ones, and it worked out really well for me. So I'll be doing that in the years to come for sure. They are amazing. I love snap peas. They're so good. They just don't grow enough. So I need to, once this round is done, I need to replant immediately so I get a fall harvest of peas as well, because there's just never enough peas to go around. I don't think I've tried that kind of lettuce, frisee or frisee. Definitely have to have tomatoes. Yeah, my must-have crops are tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers. I'm trying to think of what all I've got growing on in my garden right now. I do a couple zucchinis and summer squash. just because I like to shred it and freeze it to make bread and muffins. We do zucchini bread muffins here, and that's a big favorite. My kids love the cherry tomatoes. I still do not like tomatoes by themselves. I will eat them with something else, but not by themselves. But my family, my boys and my husband both adore cherry tomatoes, so I always have them growing somewhere. I don't like eating onions raw, um, but I do cook with them a lot. So, yep, I've grown a ton of onions here. I haven't had much luck with garlic. I do want to try planting them in the fall, though, and see if I get a spring harvest next year. So that's something that I'll be working on. Oh, goodness. Is there something I'm really excited to learn how to do in the kitchen this year? Um, hmm. I don't know if I ever really have something specific that I want to learn. It just kind of comes at me and I learn it as I get there. I am learning how to do a lot of my own foods from scratch instead of buying pre-made or canned stuff. So like we use a lot of cream of mushroom soup and cream of chicken soup here. I'm learning how to make those from scratch. I've been making my own bread products from scratch for a long time now. Um, I do want to learn more pressure canning versus water bath canning. The last couple years, I've been doing a lot of water bath canning. Last year, I dabbled in pressure canning a little bit, and so I want to do more like meals in a jar and have quick meals that are shelf stable on my shelf, ready to go for those nights where I'm just tired and I don't want to cook, or we were doing a lot of yard work and we just got in late, things like that. So that's something that I would like to do more of. Um, and then I would like, I guess, I just like learning new things. So I'm excited to learn anything new. I'll end up with some milking sheep. Oh, I didn't know you can milk sheep. That's cool. I would really like some dairy goats at some point. So I have the milk to make butter and cheese and all of that delicious stuff, yogurt and ice cream. And because I don't have room for a cow here, but I could fit some goats. I do make homemade bread. About every other day, I'm making 2 loaves because we go through it so fast. I also make like dinner rolls. I haven't tried the soft tortilla shells yet. I do want to try those at some point. But I make biscuits and pizza crust and all of that stuff. Oh, I believe it. I believe farm fresh anything is going to blow the grocery store stuff out of the water, hands down. Um, I don't think the grocery store can compete with anything that's handmade, farm fresh, grown in your backyard, any of that. I thought pressure canning was scary as well when I first started. Um, but do it with somebody. Find somebody to learn how to do it with. It's doing scary things with somebody else makes it less scary. So I actually learned how to do pressure canning with my mom. Like I said, a couple years ago, she got a couple books and the ingredients, and we just got to work learning how to do it together, and it was really cool. It's really not as scary as it seems to be. So I want to get mini goats. I only have 2/3 of an acre here, so I don't have a ton of space to work with. And I want to get the Nigerian dwarf goats. They're, I believe, just the right size for our homestead, and I can comfortably keep 2 or 3 at the max, and have enough milk for my family. but that might be a little while because I need to build a shed or a barn or something to keep them in, along with their hay and all of that stuff. So that might be a little while before that happens. But I'm excited. It'll happen eventually. So, what has been your favorite thing that I've put out so far on my channel? Is there anything in particular that you guys have really enjoyed watching and learning, things like that? Is there anything that you want me to do more of, or show more of, or teach about, or any of that? Agreed. A great little milker. I've heard lots of wonderful things about the Nigerian dwarfs. My mom actually has, I think, three of them right now, and she just loves them. She says the milk tastes amazing. She made her first batch of cheese this week or last week. I can't remember when she showed me, but she was all excited about it. So I'm excited to get some goats eventually and be able to do all of that as well. That is the nice thing about homesteads, is that they're always evolving and growing and changing. And I think that's great because our needs as a family and whatnot change as well. So the ability for our homestead to change as we change and grow as we grow, or, switch tracks as we switch tracks, is really great. I've done a lot of building projects on my channel. I know when I started my channel, I didn't have a lot of my systems in place here on our homestead. I think I had my chicken coop and the run, and that was about it. And the very first big project that I ever did on my channel was my garden beds, which I still love to this day. But I think at this point in my YouTube channel, all of my big systems are in place. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing a ton of DIY projects in the future, but there's always going to be the little stuff. So you can look forward to that for sure. She says the milk is absolutely delicious. She's never drank so much milk in her life, she said. I love this lifestyle. It is a ton of work. And I know when I was just dreaming about it and talking about it, there was a lot of people that were like, I don't think you realize how much work that's going to be, and you're not going to enjoy it or any of that. And well, I love it. I wouldn't trade this lifestyle for anything. I think it's so rewarding, and I've learned so much doing it. My kids have learned so much doing it. And just being able to provide for my family in this way has really been a blessing to me. And God has met me in that garden so many times. It's yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything. That is true. You just do what you can with what you have right where you are, and just grow where you're planted. That's kind of my whole content, is just doing what you can where you are. Um, I know when I first started homesteading, I was really discouraged by a lot of the larger channels and a lot of the larger homesteads that had all of this acreage to work with, and I only had 2/3 of an acre. Mind you, that's a lot bigger than most people's backyards, but it was still small in comparison. And I got discouraged with okay, well, now I have property, but what actually can I do here with the space that I have? And I just came to the realization that, you know what, I don't need a ton of space to produce something for my family. It might not produce everything that my family needs, but it can produce something and take away some of the weight of the grocery store bill and provide us with some healthy stuff. So when I started this channel, that was my biggest goal, was to encourage people that you don't need a ton of space to grow food and raise animals for your family. All you need is some resourcefulness, some creativity, and some grit to just keep going, to learn from mistakes, to figure things out when they don't work out exactly the way you planned, and just keep running with it, because there's really no such thing as failure until you give up. So don't give up, just keep going. Land up here in Pennsylvania costs a fortune as well. I'm amazed that we got the land that we do have with a decent house on it for the price that we got it for, because the way prices are right now, this little chunk of property would probably go for like 300, 400,000, and that's like way outside of our price range. Trial and error is the best way to learn. Experience, experience, experience. Just get out there and do stuff, and don't be afraid to mess it up, because most likely if you mess it up, you'll think of a new way to do it, and then you'll do it better the next time. So if you just have that mindset of, just keep going, keep trying, keep doing new things, and you'll get there. Ugh, that is expensive. A lot of the properties out here are like that as well. I'm hoping to get land eventually. I would love to have 5 to 10 acres to be able to do a little bit more. I don't want to do a ton more, but I think it would be nice to have, a few more goats than 2 or 3, or even a dairy cow. I love the little mini jerseys. I think they're adorable. So I think something like that would work really well for our family. But having, just a smidge more land to do just a little bit more, would be fantastic. But we shall see where life takes us. Des. Desi. Can you close the door, please? Thank you. So, do you guys have any other questions for me? Anything you want to know about me personally, or my homestead, or any of that? If not, I'm probably going to wrap up this live here in the next 5 to 10 minutes, and then start planning for the next one. Thank you, Whitten. It was great chatting with you as well. Hope to see you on the next one. Awesome. Thanks for your sub. I appreciate that. Alrighty, guys. So I am going to wrap up this live, I think, right here. It was really great chatting with all of you. I am going to be doing a live video once a month, on the last Friday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope to see you guys there, and I hope to answer any of your questions further. I'm hoping to have more of a theme, I guess you could say, for the next one. So my conversations just a little bit more full instead of sparse. So thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate your conversation. Thank you so much for chatting with me and answering or asking me all of your wonderful questions. It was great getting to know you guys a little bit better. And I look forward to chatting with you guys next time. So have a great night, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.